Alright, so I've tried just about every technique there is to help accelerate my learning. As a software engineer, I'm always having to learn new skills, whether that's programming languages, frameworks, libraries, methodologies, and so far in 2023, I've been able to skyrocket my acceleration of learning due to learning how to leverage ChatGPT in 2023. So before we start, let's start with learning what leverage means and how you can leverage ChatGPT to be able to accelerate your learning in 2023. So leveraging is the idea of how much you can accomplish in a single day. So let's think of the analogy of two farmers, Farmer A and Farmer B. Farmer A has 100 acres of crops Farmer A needs to harvest. Well, for Farmer A to be able to harvest 100 acres of crops, it's going to take him like 3 months minimum because he has no tools and he has to go there and pluck every plant by hand or have to weed every area. Farmer A has a lot of work, but only 3 months to do it. Farmer B, on the other hand, has a tractor, and the tractor is able to harvest all 100 acres of land within a single day. Well, both Farmer A and Farmer B have 3 months to do the same job, but since Farmer B can leverage a tractor to harvest 100 acres of land in only a single day, that means Farmer B is actually being like 100 times more productive because he's able to accomplish in one day what Farmer A needs 3 months to do. So being able to leverage time or leverage different resources will allow you to accelerate in areas that still require time, but you should be able to do it more efficiently. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to leverage ChatGPT. The very first thing is being able to use the Pareto principle. Now, the Pareto principle is an 80-20 rule that 80% of knowledge can be gained from only 20% of resources, or in business, it's 80% of revenue is only from 20% of clients. It's this 80-20 principle that you can learn 80% of a technology by only learning 20% of that specific tech. So for example, if you wanted to learn Python, you could go into ChatGPT and say, teach me Python using the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. When you follow this, ChatGPT will give you a list of things to learn, which will give you 80% knowledge of Python, but only have to understand about 20% of what it's doing. This allows you to be able to leverage your time and energy to learn as much as possible about a certain programming language, technology, or really any skill in life. The Pareto principle has been around for a very long time, and that is one of the most important things you can do to learn how to skyrocket your education and your learning ability, and ChatGPT will do all of the hard things for you to give you just an idea of what you need to learn to skyrocket your career. Now, the second method that you could learn is having ChatGPT create you a study guide. Now, every single person has a different amount of time that they can dedicate to learning a new skill. So for example, you can tell ChatGPT, I want to learn Python programming language in 4 months, and I have 20 hours per week to dedicate to my learning. Can you create me a study guide so I can be successful in 4 months? ChatGPT will break it down day by day in how you can allocate 20 hours of your learning so that you're going to be successful in 4 months. The more information that you pass into ChatGPT, the more helpful it can be. So for example, you can say on Mondays, I have 2 hours between 6 and 8 p.m. On Tuesday, I'm between noon and 1. On Wednesday, I'm only available at 1 a.m. because you have to work a 24-hour shift or something. So understanding how you can leverage ChatGPT to create these schedules for you is a huge, huge win. And that is the power of creating study guides using ChatGPT. Now, the next thing is understanding the journey before you get to the destination. So the destination is I'm wanting to learn Python, or I'm wanting to learn Python and Fast API to be able to build this enormous social media application. Now, that is doable, but you need to understand the journey to get there. So if on day one you don't know how to program, we need to break down that journey into multiple mini journeys or adventures to see how you can scale that learning altitude to be able to be successful in the long term. So if you want to create this social media application, maybe we can break down learning Python in 3 months, learning Fast API in 3 months, learning about scalability, learn about marketing. And once you get ChatGPT to break down all of these adventures to be able to create a long lifelong journey, well, that'll be better for you as it will help you be able to create the Pareto principle as well as being able to leverage study guides, and allows ChatGPT to understand your long-term goal and your short-term goal to create the best learning opportunity for you. Now you can also have ChatGPT recommend resources that will also help you learn. So there's 3 different ways to learn. That's by reading context, by hearing context, or by seeing context. So by reading, the most popular thing is reading textbooks or reading books, right? If you are someone that is able to digest learning by reading, you can ask ChatGPT to recommend the top 5 books in that subject that'll help you learn. You can also say, what are the best 5 ways to hear information? Now that might be audiobooks or podcasts, and ChatGPT will do all of the work for you to help you identify areas that you can learn by hearing. So if you're wanting to learn Python, you can ask ChatGPT to create a study guide that includes 3 of the top Python books, 3 of the top podcasts, and we can add in video or seeing, which allows us now to be able to add learning content or tutorials to your study guide also. So by leveraging ChatGPT, you can now have books, audio, video, a study guide, while also leveraging your time to be as efficient as possible with learning new material. And now there's 2 more steps to really encapsulating all of these ideas into a single platform for being able to learn. The first one is be ready to invest your time. Learning takes time, doing anything takes time, right? And that is the one resource that we can't create enough of. So understanding how to utilize your time by following these guides will help, but you have to be willing to invest your time. It's very easy to, want to learn something, spend 3 days learning it, and then stop the 4th day. And that's okay. If you want to take a break, that's okay. But if you really want to learn something, you must stay after it. You must go at it. Maybe not every day, but at least every other day. And following these study guides and principles that ChatGPT can give you will allow you to be able to encapsulate all of this data so you can really be able to continue learning at your own pace. But learning a little bit every single day is significantly better than learning a lot for 3 days and then taking a month break. So be ready to invest your time and be ready to go at it every single day so you can learn technologies and programming languages and frameworks to get ahead of your competition, because they might be taking the long breaks. But as long as you're going at it every single day, you're gonna be in a much better spot in the long term than in the short term. And now the very last thing that I want to cover is anything in this world you can figure out. One of Steve Jobs' most famous quotes, and don't quote me on it word for word, but it's, "This entire world was created by people no smarter than you are." And that's one thing that's really stuck with me, because when you look around the world, you can see a bunch of things and you're just thinking, how did someone create that? Or how did someone invent that? And when you really take a step back and realize that just a normal person invented or created something, everything in this world was created by people no smarter than you, then that allows you to be able to get that energy that if someone was able to create or someone was able to invent something, then you're definitely able to learn that something, right? So if you're really wanting to learn how to be a programmer in 2023, just know that there's all these different programming languages, there's all these different libraries and frameworks, there's so many people that are in that field that you are definitely able to also get in that field. The tech world was created and invented by people no smarter than you. So if you're really wanting to get into the field, just follow these principles that were in this video so you can follow a ChatGPT guideline or study guide or learning material so you can leverage everything to make your learning so much quicker than anybody in the past. Because as the world continues, there's so much more technology, there's so much more knowledge, there's so much more education that the last 10 years or the last couple decades didn't know about, that you're now able to consume. And so there's a great saying about trying to do something different for 10 years straight or 10,000 hours versus doing the same thing for 10,000 hours. So in the software field, there's gonna be senior engineers who have only done the same thing for 10 years, 10 or even more years, right? And if you're able to learn a new tech stack or a new technology that they have never touched before, Well, that puts you in an extremely competitive market because as the tech is always changing and growing, that gives you opportunities to be one of the very first people to learn how to use that platform. For example, ChatGPT being one of them. Artificial intelligence is kind of new to the world, right? It's something that's always been going on, but it's not something that people were able to leverage so easily on a day-to-day basis. So if you want to be the very first person who's able to really learn how to leverage ChatGPT or leverage artificial intelligence, that'll put you in such a high and prestige spot because the people who never learned how to do artificial intelligence that have been doing the same thing every day for 10 years will be stuck in the past while you're able to help create the future. So as a recap, there are so many opportunities to learn that never existed before. Try and leverage as many resources as possible, including ChatGPT, to get you ahead of the market and ahead of the game. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.